So due later this week, along with your normal assignment quiz, is the full outline for project number 2. Way back down here, you gotta scroll way down, right? I've got a couple of examples in here now. I think I'll probably pull those out though and get rid of them and show you a different example and how I would do it. So first let's look at the requirements, and I think that's important, right? So this assignment, you're just doing the outline, okay? An outline's an outline. Some people tend to start writing their paper for whatever reason. I just want to see an outline, but I do want enough detail in it that hopefully I can tell where you're going with your paper. So what's that mean? That means it's time to start doing a little research on your company. It's time to start looking at some of the numbers and seeing where they're at, and what you're going to want to write about, especially in terms of the financial analysis. But also, you should have been looking at the history, the industry, and the strategy already. So you should be able to give me some detail in the outline as to those items that are required, right? So these are the things that you're going to write, right? Discussion about the industry in which your company competes. Brief history of the company. I might switch those two. The history just seems to be a better starting point. Why I have them that way here, I don't know. Discussion about the strategy, company strategy, and in-depth financial analysis. And again, that needs to be the focus of the paper. It's a 5-page paper. 2.5 or 3 pages ought to be devoted to that in-depth financial analysis. And I write that there's some ambiguity sometimes, right? And simply stated that different companies, Costco's going to be completely different than Domino's. I mean, there might be some similarities when you're looking at the financial statements, but there's factors that are key maybe to that industry, retail versus a quick service restaurant. And so, adapt to, I guess, whatever company you've chosen. And once again, if you got some questions about that, let me know. Tesla's a new company. Their financials are going to look, even though it's in the same industry, maybe way different than what General Motors or Ford might look like. Okay, and so just kind of keep those in mind as you're going through that. Again, to clarify, this is simply an outline of your proposed paper. So get some detail in there. Let me know that you've started to look at the financials. Go to that Seeking Alpha, take a look at, are sales growing, right? What's happened to their gross profits? That's kind of one of those finding financial information, going back to that assignment, right? What's happened to their operating expenses? Thus their operating profit. Have they had some extraordinary items, that have occurred in the last 3 or 4 or 5 years? Okay, those types of things are things that you should highlight. Now, what you'll do in the further research is open up their annual reports and start to analyze, okay, if sales have grown, why have sales grown? If sales have plummeted, or gone down, why have sales gone down? We'll find more of that information to add, again, more context to those points that you should be finding now, okay? So let's take a look at what an outline might look like. First, how to do an outline, and for me, this is probably the easiest way. Microsoft Word is pretty darn helpful, and again, remember, Word's free through the university, but you may come up here if you want to, center it, put a little title in here, business finance outline. I'm just gonna kind of make mine a little shorter, call it an outline. You can put your name up there, that's fine. Name of the class, etc. However much information you want to put up there is fine. Hit that, come back over here. I'm going to get rid of the bold. Now I want to start an outline, and here's, I can right click here. You could also come up to here, okay, but I can right click here, and then where these little bullets and stuff are, and kind of click on that. This is one that was recently used, but it's also just down here, so you could click on that. Boom, you've started an outline. So if you're doing that, okay, your first can't type, your first paragraph's going to be the intro, right? Okay, I hit return, it takes me to 2. I don't want to go 2 because I want to do here, and here I want to talk about the history. Okay, etc. Okay, I'm just going to quickly, I'll show you more what this outline should look like in a bit, one that I've already kind of created. But if I hit enter, it gives me the little b, it stays with that same indentation. But if I hit enter again, it'll take me right back, and then I'm to 2 if I want to start in on the, regular paragraph for history. Okay, so you can kind of mess around with that. And then the other thing, if you goof up, if you want to go, let me go back. I'm sorry. If I go back here, I could hit this. I can also hit Shift and Tab, and that takes me back to there. Okay. So, however you want to do that. If also you want to put something that's under history but a little less important, you can hit another tab, and it's going to bring up a little I for you. Okay. And you could keep indenting more and more, each time as you wanted to. So, what should your outline kind of look like? And my outline is just an outline with a few words. Okay, your outline should have some detail about what you plan to write about, so that I have an idea where you're going. Okay, so this is just kind of a demonstration of maybe what your outline should look like. The headline numbers or words could very well be the same as what you might have, right? Okay, you must have an introduction. Okay, got to be in your outline. You need to tell me what you're going to tell me. Okay, and so that's got to be in your outline, right? You're going to briefly mention the history, industry, and strategy. That can all be in one sentence if you want it to be. That's fine. You're going to do a detailed financial analysis, and you're going to make a recommendation at the end of the paper as to whether you think somebody should buy, sell, or hold this particular company. Okay? You're going to do a paragraph on history. Again, I've got nothing in here. This is where you should start adding a little bit of detail to your outline. Industry, same thing. Strategy, same thing. Financial analysis. These ones you should have probably already done. A lot of you, I said, you might need to condense your history. So now's the time to kind of condense it, pick out those major items that you want to keep included in there. And then the financial analysis, and I, used a little extra indentation there to kind of make the point that this is where you really want to spend your time. I probably didn't do enough indentation or enough points under that. Okay. And again, if I were doing it, so I'm not going to give you absolutes, but I might be income statement. And on that income statement, I might talk about sales trend, gross profit trend, operating expense trend, operating income trend, extraordinary items. Okay, so I'm giving you some pretty good clues as to what ought to go in there. Then I might go balance sheet. Okay, assets, debts, debt trend, trend in assets. Again, you might have extraordinary items that have occurred there. There could be mergers, there could be spin-offs, there could be sales of assets, etc. Okay, I might go cash flow. Okay, and they wouldn't necessarily have to be in that order. The income statement's probably going to be the one that gives us the most information that we're really looking for. Okay, and you're going to have earnings per share and okay, different things like that. And you would also probably have one that might deal at a sub point. I've got 3, so I've got income statement, say balance sheet, cash flow, but also the equity. What's happened to the equity? And under that, it might include stock buybacks. It might include things like dividends. Okay, some different things like that go on under retained earnings, of course, that go on underneath that particular heading. Okay, and then you have to have a conclusion. And in the conclusion, again, you have to tell me what you told me. So I told you about the history, the industry, and the strategy of this company. I gave you a detailed financial analysis, and here's my recommendation and why. Okay, why I make that recommendation, a little information as to that. So hopefully that gives you a pretty good idea what I'm looking for here. Again, I'm not filling in any detail. I expect that to come from you, however, so that I have a reasonably good idea of where you're going with this particular project. Thanks and good luck.